Hi, this is Judy from Fox Cities Quilt Company, and this is Sunday from the Sewing Room, where we give you some tips, tricks, and a few tutorials to help you with your sewing and quilting projects. And if you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button below. So today I am back in my sewing room. Remember last week I got really honest with you about how incredibly messy and unorganized my sewing room is. I was thankful that some people came in the shop this week and said, "Hey, I saw your Sunday from the Sewing Room and my sewing space is so much worse than yours." It made me feel bad but good all at the same time. But I find that if your sewing space or creative space, whatever it is organized, then you might feel a little more creative. So I am going to, each week as we progress, take about 10 minutes, and just 10 minutes, because that's a realizable goal. You're not taking too much time away from your sewing or anything else that you want to do, but you're making at least a 10-minute effort every week to get something a little bit neater and a little more organized. And so that's what I'm going to do today. In order to help me do that, I stopped at the dollar store and I got a few things, and I'm going to show them to you. I don't know if I'm going to use them or not. That's why I went to the dollar store, so that I didn't spend a lot of money. I wanted to spend my money on sewing projects instead of on organization projects, because it was just so much more fun. So I got these three little containers here. I thought these might be useful. We'll see. Anything I don't use, I'm just going to take the shop in and use it there. Excuse my reach. I got these little cups. I thought, maybe I could put different colored bobbins in here so they're not just sloon everywhere. I don't even know if sloon is a word, but I used it. And then I got these little square ones too. And again, I don't know if these are going to be useful or not, but they looked like they might be. So I didn't, spend a whole lot of money. It's not a huge investment, and we'll see what happens. The space I'm going to work on today is this space right here, and that is everything within reach of my sewing machine. So I have this arm that comes out here that I have all of this mess on, and it has 3 shelves. And I'm going to see in 10 minutes what I can get rid of, what I can organize, what I can do with that. I have my sewing area, which is actually pretty good. I can't complain too much about that. And then I have these boxes and these threads right down here. I have this that I do use for thread organization. The bobbins are a challenge, but let me see what I can get done in here, and we're going to just take 10 minutes to do that. I'm not going to record it because I think it's pretty boring for you to look at, but I think you might like to see the end result. So I've decided to start with the top of my cabinet on the right side of where I sew, and I'm going to work my way down to this area here where you see I have binder clips, different kinds of pins. I have this little 3-tiered organizing thing, and then I have this down here. I'll start there and see what I can do in 10 minutes. I think I can do pretty well. And then I will move over here to this section here with the threads that are hanging out. There's a box that appears to have no purpose, and it looks like projects down there in the bottom that are either complete and I have to send back to the shop with the extra fabric, or whether I have to rethink that project and get rid of them. But right now I'm going to start here, and I'm going to work my way around. The first thing that caught my eye was this mess in here. So I'm going to start there, and then I will show you what I accomplish. Okay, so my 10 minutes are up. I made some snap decisions. I did some quick consolidating, and I really got real about what haven't I seen in years, and what do I really, really use. If I haven't used it in the last 2 years, which is since we downsized and came to this house, I tossed it out. If I have seen it, and I have used it. I kept it. But let's see what I've done. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what happened. Okay, so here's my results. This is the top of my cabinet. Do you remember those little plastic things I got at the dollar store? Well, those came in handy. I've decided to put my clips in there because I use those quite a bit. And the little square containers that I also got at the dollar store, I put my empty bobbins in there. It's easier to find this should it fall off than a tiny clear bobbin, so I did that. I use these pins a lot, so I left them there. This is my used needles. They just go in here. And my used rotary blade, I'll have to get another one and empty this soon. This is the color of bobbins that I do use a lot, so I do have that gray there. I left it there. Do you remember that pink thing that was here? Well, I got real about that and I consolidated because this was on the bottom shelf and it was empty, and now here's that little pink thing and it is empty. I consolidated them and I put marking tools here, writing tools here, and you can kind of see what I did. Here's my rotary cutters. I have all of my seam rippers. I think they're on the other side because I'm hoping not to have to use those very often. Oh, there they are. And then my box of Kleenex was up there, which is, I use that often when I use my seam ripper, obviously. And down here is that three-tiered thing that I worked on. Let me pull this out for you and I'll show you. Everything that I use a lot, I put at the top, like needles, and these are the feet that I use, and these are the feet that I use often. So here's all my needles, because I change my needles often, and here's all the feet that I use a lot. So I use my binding foot, I use this tool to clean out my machine, my zipper foot, and my 1/4 inch foot. So those are all of the feet that I use a lot. So I made sure that those were on the top. Safety pins down here, and all other miscellaneous tools and feet that I don't use a lot, I put those on the bottom. And I like that because it goes nice and neat in that corner. Here is my fabric crumbs. Obviously, I use those every single day. I do use these numbered pins a lot, so I wanted them to be handy. And down here on the bottom is things that I hope to not use a lot. Here's another thing that I can put dead needles in, my Kleenex. And then these are the end cap, spool caps. And I remember my clips, I took them out of that because it wasn't as handy. Those I don't use a lot, so it's okay to put a lid on it. So, and then let me take you over here. I now have this empty. I can use it for something else. I may take it to the shop. The girls might use that. And down here, I just tossed threads in there. It is going to have to get organized someday. And down here, I also found that I had just little miscellaneous things in each of these bins. I put them in a bag because they're extra project stuff that I'm going to take back to the shop. But now I have 2 empty project bins that I can use if I need to take them anywhere. And then the other thing I did was I had 2 of these. One had just a bunch of junk in it. Some of it went over here, and some of it went out. And this is all of my handwork, my hand needles, my seeing my glasses so that I can see, and hand threads. So that is everything that I did in 10 minutes. It's not hard. I got it organized. It's a little bit neater. I can find things a little better, and I feel like it's probably pretty sustainable. So in the end, just give yourself 10 minutes once a week, and you could probably get your sewing room more organized and feel more creative. I tend to feel more creative when I don't feel so cluttered because all of those things are just nagging at me and I want to get them taken care of. So my new year, new me, is to take 10 minutes a week and just clean out my sewing room and try and get organized. This is Judy from Fox Cities Quilt Company, Sunday from the Sewing Room. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.